Hey YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's video on YouTube. Today we're going to be doing something totally and utterly obvious. As you can see, as usual, the nasturtiums have been fairly doing so well, to possibly say the least. But of course, yes, there's been a couple of bad news. Yes, that tomato plant has been sunken down. But of course, yes, hey, it's not just that. We've got this majestic looking sunflower. In fact, there's two sunflowers here. That one there, unfortunately, is actually going to die out. But that is like the tiniest out of all the sunflowers I've actually seen. But the one I'm actually on about is this big giant one right there, which has actually been unexpectedly successful to blossom out. But unfortunately, as sad as this sounds, this sunflower actually is straightforward sinking down. So in that way, that sunflower is cactus. But nevertheless, it will still be attracted by lots of honeybees. And there's a parakeet. Wow, I just got it. There was a parakeet right over at my footage. How cool was that? But anyways, I'm gonna track across over here. So I just had breakfast somehow. Wow, is that a flock of different birds? Finches or tits? I can't really tell. Not tits as in the other word. I'm actually referring to a species of domestic bird. Well, not a domestic bird, but a bird that domestically flies towards people's backyard gardens. Anyways, we've got another sunflower that's actually approaching really fast, which is actually developing its little sunflower head. But there's also other good news. We've got more cosmoses right here. They've actually started to blossom out really nicely. In fact, there's quite a few buds of them somehow starting to appear. We've got more zinnias. Lots of more zinnias right here. In fact, I can also start to see the bees starting to pop out towards where I am at the moment. And as you can see, hey, the very vast swathes of nasturtiums are covering oh so well. And that's a very nice thing to really much see here. Anyways, I'm going to track back to where I started. Of course, there's a whole bunch of wreckage I might talk about. The knockoff toy helicopter, of course, which has been completely and utterly awesome for a Dark Side knockoff toy to be destroyed. That I did last night. And also I can just crush the plastic as I'm straightforward walking out here, since now that toy is straightforward being totally and utterly destroyed. Yes, we've got the tomato plants right here, of course, and then we've also got, yeah, another one right there as well. Zinnias, this one here hasn't been blossoming any flowers, which is not that great, but I can see a little flower bud that started to appear. Interestingly, I can also see another zinnia. Right, this one here looks like it's dying because obviously I think it's suffering from too much water. I think that's why. And I'm actually hearing so many chirping birds. Possibly finches. I don't know which bird it is, but I say possibly finches, I guess. Now that, I have to say the breeding season is over, which is nice to know. Anyways, so we've got the zinnias right here. So we've actually got about 3 to 4, possibly 5 zinnias. That there looks like it's about to vaporize. Apparently, I'm actually seeing so many birds now. It almost feels like springtime has met autumn. Quite interesting, isn't it? Very interesting somehow, isn't it? I can actually hear the parakeets. Wonder where they are at the moment here. Beautiful noises at these little beautiful green chaps. Oh, I can actually start to hear them. I think they're coming from what side of it? I don't know what side it is. Oh, there's a little bit. Oh, wow. Wow, I can't believe it. There's actually quite a few birds over there. Was that a dunnock or was it a wren? I can't really tell. There's actually so many birds that pop into backyard gardens. Oh wait, is that a wren? It might be a wren. Let me just turn the brightness up a little bit. Oh, that's beautiful. I can just see it perching somewhere. Oh, I think it might have just been gone. Oh dear. Sorry, I just don't think I had enough time to see the wren. But anyways, I am going to showcase of what flower or plant collection, and the wren is taking over the rest of this whole video. But let me just go ahead and have a bit of a trek through across. As you can see, we've got very huge clumps of nasturtium leaves, and it's beautiful, isn't it? Just shows you how many birds they're singing outside. Doesn't exactly mean it's spring. Maybe they're just establishing an intercourse session, I suppose, which I won't get into. There's more zinnias, of course. We've got small ones, big ones. especially that one there. In fact, there's actually more than one big pink zinnia around my backyard garden. I can see another one which looks like that, and there's that one there as well too. And there's another zinnia flower bud that has actually started to appear. Wonderful, isn't it? And then we've also got a very mixed array of different hedgerows and different bushes that the bees love pollinating towards. And there's a very close-up shot of a bumblebee. How cool is that? That was actually straight from flying to somewhere, which I can't really tell. And the cat tower has basically been destroyed. Once again, it looks like it's been totally saturated just because I think it's probably the amount of rain we've seen. It's probably been annihilated by such heavy rainfall that has totally softened it. We've got more bird seeds. I haven't noticed that, going by the looks of the bird food, none of the birds have been touching it. So I should have actually straightforward used a little bit more wiser than what I should have done in the first place. But nevertheless, the birds will have to feed to themselves. I actually heard some people told me you can actually put and throw in chili powder, which actually helps to deter squirrels, but actually helps to attract more birds. And there's actually more saturated seeds. You can see why it's gone all wet. Ugh, gross. But I don't know if the birds might like it when it's that wet somehow, because given of just how, basically as wintertime is fast approaching, even though it's quite warm during September, obviously the birds will need to feed for themselves because, hey, as autumn time approaches, food becomes scarce, and in that case, hey, that's what it is. A lot of bird seeds have been straightforward being, well, not that much consumed, to possibly say the least, even though it's been quite a bit of a contrast. There's been so much wet weather of late. And one thing I've also noticed was that because we've seen so many browed out and so many dead plants, I did straightforward removed all of this earlier on in the middle part of the year. I should try and get rid of these, hopefully, I think. We've got more wild cabbage flowers, and there's things straightforward next to me. Yes, of course, we've got the onion plants, which unfortunately they didn't succeed. It's not that great, isn't it? Nah. But nevertheless, I'm just going to straightforward ponder downwards, I suppose, amongst the blackberry shrubs, which hasn't been very much a bit of a good neighbour to me. In fact, they've been very much cruel, because I can just see how much spikes those damn things have. And, of course, we've got more nasturtiums. They are straightforward vastly spread all the way towards here. And there's some small ones right here. In fact, there's some more, basically new nasturtium seeds being generated so far. I highly suspect I shall collect these and store them in a cool, dry spot where they can be perfect for sowing for next year. It's wonderful somehow. Okay, and as you can see, we've got all sorts of cosmoses right here. There's actually quite a few of them here. This one's got the correct amount of petals, obviously. I think there are some which are just sinking down and then they're sort of dying, I suppose, hey? It's actually somehow quite a lovely sight to see. And there's more nasturtiums, more zinnias around here. It's just somehow beautiful. In fact, I'm starting to see a nice congregation of zinnias. As you can see, this one here is actually growing very prolifically wise, because I can definitely tell, although we've got one here, look at all those pink zinnias. It just goes to show you how successful my backyard garden can be at times, miraculously, somehow. What are these? Are these like little seed heads from like a thistle, which I can't really tell? There's some cosmoses here, which I presume they're going to be late blossomers. Hopefully it won't be that hot or too hot to just straightforward let them blossom for a while, hey? Because I think by the time when autumn ends, these flowers might straightforward die off. But nevertheless, I'm starting to see some cosmos flower heads starting to pop out. Lots of these buds, as I like to call them. There's actually quite a lot of flower buds totally in production. And then we've also got the zinnias, like so. That there is straightforward, like sinking down. I don't know how. We've also got the red zinnia as well. They are straightforward losing their beautiful colour pigmentations. But nevertheless, I am starting to see of how they're like now. It is beautiful somehow. And there's a robin singing in the backyard garden. In fact, we've got a lot of pink flowered zinnias, which I can't see properly because of the strong sunlight. And whoa, crazy, isn't it? I don't know how much rain we're going to be having later on this afternoon, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a wet and windy day, as much as I can honestly say. And I can also see just how tough the grass. You can actually see how much grass we have straightforward. I'm almost gonna lose all of that grass, you know. I should try and dig some more to accommodate more plants, and also because I think that that bit of erosion caused by the rainfall has totally, you know, made it a bit withered away. And there's a magpie right over in the treetops. There you go. Two beautiful looking magpies sitting basically on a couple of trees. Almost looks like they're split. And is that a jackdaw or is that a crow? I can't really tell. But as you can see, the wind is straightforward blowing. But that's very normal during autumn time, because by the time when, 15 to 16 or 17 miles per hour is coming up, well, we're in for a real storm. And that magpie is straightforward. There's actually about 2 to 3, there's actually about 4 or 5. It's quite a bit of a gathering here. I usually don't see magpies in very big flocks. I would only see them in in small individuals. I would say small groups, as I like to call them, or small hordes. And I'm just going to go ahead and trek across through where I'm up to at the moment. I'm just going to trek through across some nasturtiums here. There's actually quite a lot of nasturtiums here. And what the heck is that thing? It looks like it's dying, isn't it? Nevertheless, that is what I've covered throughout the rest of this whole gardening tour video. And you might be wondering, hey Ivan, what just happened last night? Well, there you go, there's the complete wreckage of what just happened. With that Dark Side knockoff bump and go police SWAT team action helicopter toy. Luckily enough, I did save all of the batteries, and thank goodness, yes, it has been straightforward smashed up and blown into smithereens. Well, I'm not sure about you, or be like Sherlock Holmes here. There's quite a lot of various components here that have just smashed up via this knockoff toy. Some of these larger core pieces have actually stayed intact. Obviously, I don't know how blind I was as a bat, because obviously smashing knockoff toys at night makes it very difficult for me to try and, evaluate of what I've been doing so far. But yes, strangely enough, I didn't expect to see some dark green pieces that are straightforward with the helicopter. That is actually very unusual seeing that. I don't know if they were part of the helicopters or what. And I can also see some of the gears as well, and the motor as well too. I did throw away the motor and the speaker because it would have been caused by some sort of choking hazard warning, I suppose. It would have been a major cause for that, I think. There's another major black helicopter component piece. As you can see just how brittle the plastic is. It's really chunky stuff. There's more big pieces here. Look at that, guys. I can tell you what, I did not actually expect the whole toy to explode. In fact, it has shattered. It has just exploded on impact. Like, looking at this now, there's a chassis for a race toy car, I think it has. I don't know, to be honest, for me, hey, that plastic I've just noticed is fairly far by one of the most brittle. Even though it's straightforward, it's broken up into shreds, this one was straightforward, much tougher than the rest of what I've covered so far here. And that's what I've got to cover here, I think. Well, I better straightforward put out some sort of educational aspect about this video, or else people are just straightforward getting, they're just straightforward getting a little bit into a bit of a balmy mode and say, hey Ivan, why the hell do you have to destroy a cheap and nasty knockoff toy helicopter that has a bump and go feature and has LED lights and a big, flaring, bulging, noisy looking speaker? Well, obviously, I'm just doing this just to warn you that there's a lot of knockoff products lurking around across in our country, and it probably shows you why you shouldn't buy this sort of stuff. I can see a gear right here, and also I can just definitely find out some missing parts. There's that thing there as well. There's a little plastic piece for the helicopter as well. It seems like that this helicopter has actually dispersed so much plastic when I was smashing it around last night. And also I can see more plastic. It's crazy. So there's what I'd probably say one of the wheel undercarriages, and there's also another bit there. What is that? Is that part of the truck? I can't really tell, but hey, some of that plastic that I just smashed up in previous videos seems to have highly ejected. That was just crazy seeing that for a knockoff toy review that I was doing so far. And I can tell you what, I'll never forget this. And actually, speaking of knockoff toys, there was a red knockoff toy truck that was getting about. There you go, I just saw the exhaust point. I didn't, there was a much larger red looking knockoff toy truck that I wanted to get, but I didn't have that time, so I do apologise for that. But luckily enough, I did smash up the helicopter, obviously. The helicopter didn't come with the rotor or the tail itself. It was just the model itself. Now, nevertheless, hey, guess what? That helicopter toy was just chronically crazy. And as you can see, there's a window piece that looks very, very soft. I'd highly suggest, hey, as I said before, don't buy this stuff. Because obviously this stuff is cheap and nasty and crap, obviously. You know, all that plastic is just so brittle, it can just straightforward be, you know, it will just be destroyed via little to no time. Look at that. In no time, it just gets turned into complete another, you know, just shattered bits of waste. I tell you what, I could never forget every single knockoff toy I've smashed so far in 2025. It feels like I have. Feels like 2025 has actually been more like the year of the knockoff. Knockoff toy era. Lots and lots of dark side knockoff toys that I just smashed up. Oh my gosh. My goodness me. Mind you, Mr. Shovel has been rebirthed like a phoenix and has returned to its very much second glory. It's like it went through a molting process somehow. Well, there you go. I'm just piling up all of the knockoff toy debris that I've just straightforward destroyed. And that is straightforward a complete another amount of rubbish that I've just straightforward destroyed in this one little backyard garden that I've straightforward been rummaging around. And there you go. There's another big piece there. Look at that. It just shows you. You can definitely just feel how brutal this is. I can also see a bit of wiring as well too, where the electrical motor and the speaker would have been around here. That there, obviously, I just can't believe it. Just so much knockoff pieces around here. It's just crazy. And I can tell you what, it feels like I'm doing some sort of weird crime scene investigation. Hence what I'm doing this video here. Should have done that in the other video, but hey, it was pretty dark to do so. But hey, that's me being Sherlock Holmes. Assembling all of the knockoff toys that I've got across from my backyard garden. Anyways, I'm going to straightforward leave this video here because the video is getting way too long for today's stupid YouTube. So if you really enjoyed this gardening tour around video, blah blah, and also my assemblage of knockoff toys that I smashed and crashed up yesterday, I'll tell you what, that helicopter disintegrated real fast. It seems like I'm destroying so many knockoff helicopter toys. And I mean, that's just ridiculous. Now, you might be thinking, hey, Ivan, how the hell did you just smash toys up? Well, it all started with a John Cena figure that was straightforward going to break up. And then when I just bought several knockoff toys, bam, there goes my dream. Smashing up knockoff toys has become my ridiculous but one awesome dream. And it's done by an amazing Australian YouTuber named Leo Kim Video. He's done a whole bunch of toy smashing videos. Go ahead and check out his channel. That's where I got the inspiration from. Smashing up knockoff toys. And I'll tell you what, I'll never forget this. Anyways, I'm going to leave this video as it is. If you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more flat videos in the future. And as always, hope you will enjoy my garden tutorial as well. As always, thanks so much for watching and bye for now. And there's a lot of birds singing. Tweet, tweet.